Right. Good evening and welcome to the Open Book. I am your host and founder, Lakeisha Mabry, and we thank you for joining us for this special pop-up open book session tonight. We are excited. Y'all, we have some women on here that are going to give us some poetry. We have a guest author tonight that's going to share with us her new book. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, Let me go ahead and some of you may have heard about the open book. Some of you may not have heard about the open book, but at the open book, we believe in literacy. We expose you to a variety of literacy, different types of books, different forums here at the open book. We also believe in transparency. And I once heard that transparency is the new ministry, hence the open book. We believe in being relevant. What is relevant to you? What is the latest hot topic that we are dealing with that particular month? And last but not least, we are a community. We believe in serving others and also inviting a variety of authors, a variety of different arts. Like tonight, we have poetry. And so we welcome you to the open book and thank you for joining us tonight. Now, tonight, and I must say that um recently this week, I was on Facebook, and so one of my cousins, she had shared a video of a woman with a little girl in front of her. It was so cute, and the little girl was doing something. I forgot. You can explain to us about this video in a second, but she had her mom, I believe, behind her. And so her mom looked so quiet and standing there so professional. But then when she started doing her poetry, it was like fire. I promise it was something I hadn't seen before. And so I reached out to her because I'm like, you know what? We're in Women's Month, and this weekend we're having a show. And so I just, decided to just go for it. And I sent her a message and I'm like, can you be on the open book this Saturday? And y'all, she said yes. And when I tell you we're in for a treat, tonight we have Shug, the poet, here with us, and she is going to give us a little of her poetry, okay? But before she does that, I do want to get to know her more, and I know you all want to know a little more about her. So, Shug, welcome to the open book. How are you
Thank
tonight?
you. Thank you. I'm well. I'm in the nail salon, but I'm well. Can you hear me?
Look, keep those nails done. I need to be there getting a pedicure. I
You
really
got
do.
to make time for yourself. But
Yes,
yes,
you're right. You're right. You really do. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in Cali. I was raised in Dallas. I attended private, predominantly white schools the majority of my life. And as a result, when I was in the third grade, I received the book Ego Tripping by Nikki Giovanni. And it just set into motion like a love of poetry. Poetry is therapy. I had very low self esteem. I was the only Black child in my school. My thighs touched. I just was an outcast. I just wasn't going to be asked to any dances. I just wasn't the norm. And it was hard for me. And poetry really honestly saved my life. I definitely attempted to take it several times because I just thought I didn't belong. There wasn't a space for me, that God made a mistake. And so through poetry, I've been able to perform, heal, transform other lives. And I'm just ecstatic about healing through the arts.
Wow. So who was the little girl in that video? Talk about the video that I just saw this weekend or this past week.
So that is my God sent daughter. They were like, you can't have kids. I was waiting to take fertility drugs. And I was waiting to start my cycle so that I could start this round of Clomid, and it wasn't coming. And so finally, I took a pregnancy test, and I was like, my test is showing positive. And they're like, no, there's no way. We tested your hormone levels. You didn't ovulate. Like, there's no way. And then 5 years later, my baby's here and praying for me and praying over me and introducing me for my poems, telling me this is my mom and she's poetry. And she is just spunky and life and a godsend.
Oh my goodness, that's a blessing. I know I went through something similar with my son because I had a miscarriage before him, and so we call it the rainbow baby, our little
Mm-hmm.
rainbow baby. He's almost 4, giving us all kinds of trouble. I mean, but God always have to, remind me you prayed for this child. Okay,
Right.
so with that comes everything.
I always
He
tell
will give
people
you
it's the
praise.
Pitocin. It's the Pitocin in her.
Right. I'm like, he's a blessing. He really is. I have 2 children myself. I have a little girl. She's 5. I have a stepdaughter also. She's actually
A
20.
bonus daughter. A bonus daughter.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So boys and girls are totally, totally different. But yeah, so that video stood out to me. And so today you're going to bless us with one of your poems.
Yeah, so this is a poem that I wrote in college. It's called Lioness. And it just talks about everything that we go through as women. And, lions reproduce 80 times a day. Their constellation, Leo, is in the stars. And so lions just hold a special place in my heart for the symbolism that they represent.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I don't want to be a blank canvas no more. I want to roar. I want to roar with the fierceness of an African lioness. My life, it's a safari, but living is my prey. I should bullets of verbal caliber exploding into the lives of carcasses that will bleed my truth. That they bleed my truth and reek of essential black womanly knowledges. I dare society's inhabitants outlaw my prey, saying that my prey is endangered. I see so many black men of different species roaming the habitat, leaving me angered. How could it be illegal for me to capture and trophy them? How can society endanger and shun them all in the same law that look at them with armed programs to protect them and then they tag, tame, and read them? I seen the soul of a caged black man and he appeared to me not happy. I seen the soul of the caged black man, and his eyes long for the touch of stability. The offspring of the cage long to roam free, but then freedom killed those of us not paid for captivity. What become of me, the queen of the jungle? Do I dare roam this land alone? Do I accept captivity as my home as a queen, unable to breed my young as I please? Between the hunters, the natural disaster, disease, and fleas, they tickle me. I'm constantly battling. My main one cannot decipher from the lions of the jungle. So no wonder my kings is looking at each other. I look like him, have ceased to excite him. My young cannot tell me from he when we, or maybe just me, emerge from the wild attempts to care for them, so they love everyone equally. I don't hunt side by side with my mate. He is a king, so I serve him. He is a king quite deserving, and I want to purr with the vibrations of the top of the food chain authority. I want the echo of my king's roar to instill fear in the dwindling existence of the lower food chain game. I want to be feared just for my pride. I want groups of, I want to be feared just for my stride. I want groups of my people to be called pride. But my power is just so that I am deemed safe behind bars. And in the wild, these are the places that they say are safe for me because I can hurt somebody's child. But if we've been fighting all these years and I wasn't trying, I understand why they keep lying. If I knew my own power, I would devour them. If I knew my own power, I devour them. And that's why they kill my leaders that come to drop truth. And that's why they try to destroy my roots. But like they say, it's better to live a day as a lion than 1,000 as a lamb. I am who I am. And even the lion has to protect herself against the fly. So they will never be like my demise.
Like you have to catch it. Like I have to get focused for that. Like because you do it so fast. Like everything that you're saying, you're like you're just like flowing. Oh my goodness. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And that's called The Lion. What is it called again?
The lioness. I try and slow it down, but it's harder for me when I slow it down. I trip over the words.
Right.
But I try and slow it down as much as I can because it's just second nature to me for it to come out a lot faster. So I'm working on slowing it down.
Oh no, it's fine. I just when I tell you that last one and this one, I didn't see really close, and I love that. So
My grandson 3 years old. Oh my God.
thank you so
Thank you
y'all
for having
enjoyed
me.
that. Those of you who are live, you are welcome to share in the chat. We can see your comments, so feel free to give us some feedback, some snaps in the chat. Um, we really, really enjoyed that. Miss Shug Avery, poet Shug Avery. Okay, thank you. Muted myself. I'm sorry, y'all. And so, what we're going to do recently, we had the honor here at the Open Book to be a part of a magazine. I did an interview with one of our members, Eleanor Ward. She recently came out with a magazine called Prosperity Business Magazine. And in that magazine, she has like a variety of things as far as interviews. She has fashion, different things of that sort. And so you're welcome to order a magazine. And right now, if you are a business owner, or if you want to do advertisement, she has an awesome, when I tell you, a great deal taking place to for a full page ad. So just contact. Her name is Eleanor Ward, and this is the contact information on the screen where you are welcome to order a magazine as well. All right, we're going to keep it moving with our Women's Month. And another fantastic, y'all, it's amazing how God sets things up. I know I joined a group called Black Girls of Texas. And y'all, that group is huge. There are so many women in that group, but we are like a community where we encourage each other, all kinds of things. People introduce themselves and so forth. And so one day I was on there and I saw Felicia's comment, her post about her new book. Now, the cover itself drew my attention. And so I reached out to her and asked her, would she like to be a guest author at the open book? And she was excited. And I love when people are excited because I'm excited. It's like a whole flow thing, but she was so excited. And we're happy to have her here at the open book. Can we give her a hand clap for being our guest author this month for Women's Month? And no better title than Sis, You Are the Universe. Okay. That title itself drew my attention. And so we thank you for joining us tonight, Felicia. How are you tonight?
Thank you for having me. I am doing well. How are y'all?
Oh, fine, fine. You're looking beautiful. I love your hair. Look, that was different when you see people in person for the first time. You're like, okay, I saw the pictures that you sent me. Now I'm seeing you in person. You're like a different person.
All right.
My hair changes so many times. I have to change it up. I try not to keep it the same. So tell
That's the
us,
magic of the black woman. We can transform and do whatever we want with our hair, and you know,
uh,
we give them looks. We give them looks.
right? And I love your energy. I can tell even through the inbox messages. I said she's a lot of fun, and I really, really love that about you. So
Thank
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am from Galveston, Texas. Y'all know Galveston? Okay. I gotta ask and make sure because people be like, Galveston, what's Galveston? So I'm from Galveston, Texas, born and raised. Um, I have lived a life, y'all. And so I'm gonna give the short version of who I am because sometimes there's the tell us about you, and you can go on and on and on. But I'll give the quick tell us about just tell you about me. So I'm from Galveston. I am a girl's girl. I love, love, love family, friends. As y'all may have noticed, some similar last names. My family is in here now. They're always
Thank
supporting.
you for joining, family.
They're always supporting. I have lived abroad. I lived in Doha, Qatar for 3 years. Never did I ever think that I was going to leave the US, let alone move abroad to the other side of the world. But that experience taught me so much about myself. It was the first time I was completely alone. Um, and so in a different country at that, away from family, and a lot of reflection, a lot of like owning who I am, and a lot of just standing in being me. And that was a very different experience for me. Um, I was 10 when I lost my dad. that was something that definitely allowed me to, or kind of had me shift into a space where I was just going to be around people and take care of people and love on people as much as I can. Probably OD and probably to my detriment. But I recently just discovered that was one thing that kind of had me be the person that is the helper and not the helpee. And with that, I've been able to grow and heal and just learn about me and learn about what I want and my needs and everything. And so that's why I created Sis You Are the Universe. I created Sis You Are the Universe because I didn't feel like I was the universe. When you're someone that's always there for everyone else, you give, you give, you give. You never feel like you get in return. And when you don't know your worth, people can tell you what you're worth, right? And because I was the person that activated this, I'm going to love and support and be there for everyone else and not necessarily have my own needs taken care of. I was always in this position where my work and my worth were not aligning. So, um, that was definitely something, still something I'm struggling with,
Okay,
certain.
wait a minute.
uh,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because you were saying all kind of nuggets. Okay. What was that last one that you just dropped
your
on
worth
us?
and your work have to be in alignment, right? So if my work, if I'm working, y'all know they say as Black women we work 10 times as hard, right? But if I'm in a space where that work is not being valued, then my worth and my work are not in alignment, right? So that was definitely something for me. And so when I got into a space where I was like, wait a minute, girl, you are everything. You are the universe. Don't let them tell you that you're like Mother Earth. No, you are planet, space, time, energy, galaxies. You are everything. And when you know that, no one can stop you. No one can tell you otherwise. So I felt like I'm going to do this for us, for Black women, for my loves, my sisters, my mom, my family. And that's how I got to Sister of the Universe. I don't
Okay.
even think that was the question, but we just gonna get there.
Wait. When I tell you, I'm about to throw this computer because that is good. And we have something in common because when I was 19, well, no, I was 20, and I moved from Houston because Houston's not too far from Galveston,
Yeah.
probably 88 miles or so. And so that was my first time on my own. I moved with my job. At the time, I worked for Chase Bank. And
Mhm.
so moving like 300 miles away to Arlington, I was nervous, like you said, you help your father. I helped my mom. My mom was, she had some health challenges. And so when I left there, I was like, man, I hope that, guys are different than women. My brother, my stepdaddy, they were there.
Mhm.
But, it's hard. Women, we take care of moms differently, if I can say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so I was nervous. I was like, when I leave here, I just hope that they take good care of her because I felt like I was the only one that could really do it the right way. And
Yeah.
so when you leave, that was a process, of taking care of yourself and really knowing what your gifts and talents were because this was my first time on my own in a whole place that I didn't have any family. And
Mhm.
so I had to find a church home. I had to find friends and so forth. But moving here changed my life. Like this is where my family started. My husband found me here. I found a church, my church family that have been there for me a lot, throughout a lot of things. And so when you said that, that reminded me of that. So with the title of your book, what prompted you to title it that?
Well, I had already like I've been saying for a while I was gonna write a book. I didn't know what it was gonna be. I just knew I was gonna write a book. In my line of work, I am a motivator. I was an academic advisor, coach, all of that stuff. So initially, I said I was just gonna write a motivational book. Well, I went through quite a lot. Summer of 2020, y'all know 2020 was the year. It was the year for all of us. But I went through some things where eventually I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I came back home, and my job was they were just being not supportive, not helpful. And it made me realize, you give so much. You're the person that will go to work, that'll be there on the weekends, that will do everything. And while you're going through this difficult time, they're not going to support you in the way that you deserve. No, 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 we're not doing this. So I decided I wasn't going to move back. I was going to write my book. I was going to find another job. All of that worked for me because it was meant to be, right? And so I said, I'm going to write a book and encourage Black women. I'm going to go deeper than affirmations because affirmations are cute, but affirmations don't take you there, right? Like, wake up and tell yourself that you got it. Well, Lord, what if I don't feel like I got it today? What's next? you know, I
Wait,
was
you're not gonna trip off on affirmations now, because I do have to do that with my kids. They're little, like you said, those are cute
yeah,
because my son, he was throwing shoes and things in the classroom, and so we would say like our main four, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm kind,
yeah.
covered by the blood, and I had to add some. Say, I will not throw my shoes. I'm
yeah.
glad that you said that. That's cute. Now let's go beyond when we grow.
Yes, yes. Because I'm not saying that affirmations don't work, but I didn't see affirmations that were for me. I was like, where are my affirmations? And the very first thing, my sister is in here. Shout out to my sister, she's there somewhere. The very first thing that came to my mind was, sis, you are the universe. And it came from God, no one else but God. It was like, sis, you are the universe. And that is how I came to that because I was like, I'm everything, period. I'm everything. I am everything. So, yeah, that's how Sis, You Are the Universe came about.
Okay, so okay, at the open book, we always ask every author, how long did it take you to write that book?
So, it took me from January until the end of February. But I will say a lot of things in the book, like I said, I'm a coach. I did a lot of events. I have a lot of stuff going on. Some of the stuff were things that I had already kind of had in motion, like things that I said in an event or something like that. But I sat down and got to work. I just did it. So January to end of February, I created Sis You Are the Universe.
Oh my gosh, that was fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Now that's a blessing. And I wanted to read something from your Amazon overview of your book to kind of give a synopsis of what's in your book, if you don't mind.
Of course, go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Okay, so it says, for far too long, Black women have been stuck with the strong Black woman stereotype. This narrative may describe the nurturing and resilient nature of Black women, but it has subliminally programmed Black women to put the needs of others over their own. While this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it doesn't fully capture the essence of the Black woman. Sis, You Are the Universe aims to show Black women how to harness the magic they possess and build the life they've always wanted without being held back by unwritten expectations. In this two-part book, readers learn how to prioritize their needs, feel confident in their worth, heal from past trauma, and get permission to go after their goals and dreams without feeling selfish. With pithy and powerful insights in words of encouragement, love, and advice from other Black women, Sis, You Are the Universe helps Black women be the best versions of themselves, filled with purpose, happiness, and power. Okay, which leads me to a question that, I've been thinking about. Now, I know that this is Women's Month right now. For the purposes of this particular show, in this book that we're focusing in on, I wanted us to think about different struggles that Black women are faced with. Okay. In your opinion, what do you think is a struggle that Black women deal with and why?
I think one of the biggest struggles that Black women deal with is not truly knowing what they're worth. And that is because systemically, there are things in place to try to hold us back. Not try to hold us back. We have to think about the structures. We face racism and there's misogyny, right? And then when we get into these spaces and these systems that we're already kind of wired to work hard, because we are always in the book. I talk about chasing next. We're driven, we're ambitious, and so we're always going to be chasing next. The systems in power that know that, they are set up to prevent us from going after it is that we want. If you think about jobs, there's probably a black woman now that has worked so hard in a job. But if you think about where she is in her position, you probably are like, she should be running this place.
Ooh, you better
She,
say that.
you know, she should be running this place. And so, y'all, microaggressions are macro. These micro little things that happen in a workplace, where we get these subliminal things that happen to us, where it's like, you didn't do the report the way that I wanted it to be done. But you know what? That's fine. I'll work with you and we'll perfect it next time. And they program us so that whenever we're going up for promotions, we feel like, oh, okay, well, I didn't do X, Y, and Z, so I don't deserve all of this other stuff, right? So I'm just talking about the workplace because that's what happened to me in the workplace. But if we think about the workplace, it expands beyond that. It expands into policy, right? Think about Black women that die giving birth. I had a friend that was dying. She was literally dying while she was giving birth. So when these systems are in place, we don't have the space to own our power and our magic. All of a sudden, words like angry, aggressive, assertive, these things are thrown at us. And so we back up because we know what comes with those words. Call me angry. I got every reason to be. Call me assertive. I need to be. Call me aggressive. Look at the space that I'm in. So when we realize all of that and we realize our worth and our might and our strength, child, look what we have done while we've been held back. When we own that, we are unstoppable. So that struggle that we have is one of the reasons why I wrote Sis, You Are the Universe, to give Black women because we already know the answers within, right? But there are so many barriers that prevent us from accessing that. So I wanted my book to be a tool to help you remove the barriers, remove the baggage, so that way Black women can own all of their might and all of their magic.
Woo, okay. Girl, you're gonna turn this into a 2-hour show. Okay, because you're just saying a lot of great stuff. Okay, the first point, something you said, and this made me think about work too. This is we believe in being transparent. So if someone sees this at work, oh well, this is how I feel. Um one thing that I do remember one year, and I think it was last year, and I work for a school district. And I felt like I had to kind of like, what's the
You
word I'm looking
say it,
for?
you know it.
Just not
Yep.
be my full self. Okay. I had to like almost walk
Mm-hmm.
on eggshells because I didn't want to say something where I did come
Mm-hmm.
across angry. Or if I felt myself getting too angry, let me step out of the room. I had to allow certain people to talk to me a certain way because I didn't want it to be misconstrued and taken a whole nother way. And so in that, I did start questioning myself. Like, is this the position for me? You do start doing that. Being realistic, you do start doing that. And so when you said that, that made me think about that situation. Now, in that, you also said something else. Look at the things that we have done. Even recently, we have our first Black vice president. We've had our first Black president. which had the first Black first lady. You know, so we are making progress in doing some great things. There are other Black women this year that are rocking it and doing some great things. But there are behind the scenes struggles that we have to go through in order to break through those barriers. But they are showing us that, you know, it can be done. Pretty much it can be done. And so I like that you said knowing your worth. I believe once you know your worth, no one else will have to validate you. We find our worth in God, what He says that we are. Once we truly have that from Him, I believe that it doesn't matter what someone else calls us, what they think of us. And then I had to be confident in that because those situations tried to come at me again this year. But I handled it differently and I didn't allow myself to buckle under that. And so I'm glad that you said that is a big struggle that I think Black women do go through because sometimes we cannot be our full selves because of that angry Black female, or who does she think she is? You know, she doesn't deserve that position, and how did she get there? Because I know I went to one when I worked for one school before I even got there, and I know I was working on my doctoral degree. I don't even know how people found out, but people were like, before they knew me, hi, I heard that you were working on your doctorate degree. Who are you? How do you know that information, and why is that important? But it says, oh, you're Black. How are you teaching with me and you're trying to get something that I don't even
Yeah.
have? Those are things that we have to go through, and people just do not realize the things that we have to go through behind the scenes. So, in your book, what's one of your favorite poems or words of encouragement that you would like to share with us today?
Okay, so I mean, they all my babies. I love them all. I wrote them. But I think what's fitting today is to read the reimagined strong Black woman. Of course, I gotta read that one. The narrative of the strong Black woman is true, but it's a slippery slope. We are the mother of civilization, yet in the same breath, the most disrespected and abused. Carrying the title of strong Black woman comes with unrealistic expectations and can be a heavy burden. We suffer because society assumes our strength means we are bulletproof and our power is used against us. You are not strong just because of what you can endure without crumbling, your ability to shake things off or pushing through. It is important to reimagine what it means to be a strong Black woman, even if the world refuses to. We are powerful, but we experience pain. We are victorious, but we are vulnerable. We are heroes, but we need space to heal. We are resilient, but we are at times fragile. We may seem to possess the power of a superhuman because of our ability to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders without falter, but we are not immune to the human experience. Being a strong Black woman does not strip you of your right to show your vulnerability. And even if no one else acknowledges that fact, you should make it your business to. So that's the strong Black woman. The reimagined.
Wow. Woo! Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a mouthful right there. Oh my goodness, because that was one of my next questions. Because a lot of times, and you know, we have the magazines with all of the different models and things of that sort. You know, Black women sometimes talk about our hair. Now, this might be a quick weave, okay, but under this quick weave,
You look good.
I'm natural. Okay, I'm natural. Still natural. But you know, sometimes we go through things with hairstyles and colors. You know, we have colorism. That is a thing.
Mhm.
You're too light, you're too dark, your hips are too wide, you too big, you too, and so in the midst of all of that noise, sometimes it can hit our self-confidence,
Mhm.
okay, being transparent,
Mhm.
because I know there are a lot of women out there that go through that. What is some advice that you would have for a woman that is dealing with you know, self-confidence issues?
I think one of the biggest reasons why we have issues with confidence is comparison. And I say comparison is healthy, but comparison can also be toxic, because you think of times when you get ready, you look at yourself in the mirror and you feel beautiful. And then maybe you go into a space where other people may be more what's the word I'm looking for? The beauty standard that they have is more aligned with European beauty standards, right? Or the symmetrical face beauty standard or whatever. And then you start to feel insecure and small. So now you went from feeling so confident and sure of yourself to shrinking because of what you see. So confidence always starts, I don't mean to sound cliche, but it truly starts within. It starts with you. My therapist told me, look in the mirror and say 5 things that you like about yourself every day. And this can be physical or just internal, whatever it is. But when you start to build what I like, build what I love about me, because baby, all you have is you. You can do whatever it is that you think. You can go get surgeries, you can go get whatever, but you still have you. So you have got to find the things that you like about you. You can start with liking, just liking. You could say, I love that I got 5 fingers. Like you can on one hand, you can start with that, but you have to start to build that list of things that you like about you. You are beautifully created, masterfully created. It has I As women, I know a lot of us, we have our days where we're just like, oh, I don't feel pretty. I don't feel good about myself. We all have them. So it's very unrealistic to say that, you should just wake up every day and be like, yes, I'm the universe every day, all day. What's up? Like, it's unrealistic. You have your days, but you build your toolbox. In the book, I talked about activating your light. At the end, they always say there's a light at the end of the tunnel. No, baby, you are the light. You are the light. So, in order for you to activate your light in darkness, you got to create a toolbox. When you're in light, it's easy, right? When you feel good about yourself, that list of things, that 5 things could turn into 15 when you have a good day. When you're like, oh, look at me, the lipstick is popping. Okay. The braids popping. Okay. I can say all of these things about myself. So that way, when I'm having a dark day, I can go back to that list. You are everything, baby. You are beautiful. You got to just know that and build that for yourself.
Woo, okay. So let me go ahead and say I need to order 5 copies of this book. And y'all out there, follow me, order 10. Okay, buy her out. Y'all, we need to really have, because just hearing the conversation and the fire that's coming out of you already, I know that that book is powerful. And there's so much in there. So y'all go to Amazon, make sure we are buying these books, because these are the books that we need. We even need to pass these on to our daughters, because people need to know their worth. They need to have good confidence, operating those gifts and talents. Be confident in yourself every day. I love that. Now, this next question, because I know it kind of goes with, we talked about self confidence, we talked about knowing your worth. Recently, and I know it's had like an effect on me, and it hasn't hit my home, and I pray that it doesn't. But we are seeing an increase in the number of Black males that are being killed, whether it's Black on Black crime, whether it is by police officers. These are people's husbands, sons, brothers, uncles, friends. Okay. And I remember last year, we were seeing so much of this, and it was to the point I was like, Lord, I can't watch another video. After George Floyd, and there was another one after that, I cannot watch another one of those videos, because it was having an effect on my mental health, and a lot of anger and things of that sort. So, how do you think that that is having an impact on our Black women nowadays?
it it always has had an impact on us, because like I said, Black women are the nurturers. Black women are the fighters and the nurturers, right? We're always on the front lines. We're always there. We're always fighting, but we're always there to give that support. Like you said, These are reflections of our cousins and our husbands and dads and nephews and all of that. So it's easy for us to see a black man being murdered and connect to that. And it, like you said, it affects our mental health. It's trauma. It's trauma. It is trauma. It is
You're right about that.
traumatic. It is so traumatic. Um, and when you look at like civil rights and all of that, black women have always been there in action, but also there in compassion and support and love, right? So it is very difficult. And that's why I talk about black women and the nurturing nature that we have to our own detriment. Consuming that is a lot. Living that reality is a lot, because we all have a black man that we love, right? We all have a black man that we don't want to be murdered by the police. Like, there's so much that we face in there. And then on top of that, it's also happening to black women. It is also happening to us. So we're there for, George Floyd. We're there for Breonna Taylor. We show up because black women are going to protect black women. Black women are going to protect black men. But then we don't protect ourselves. We are not there for self. Because again, that nurturing nature, we put everyone before us, even though the news is traumatic, even though your mental health was affected, you would still be there. You would still protest. You would still do and protect and be, because you feel that it is your job as a black woman to do, but to your detriment. So you will protect all, but not you. So that is the thing. Again, I talk about always having that toolkit, always reminding yourself, hey, look, I need to check in with me, because this stuff that I'm doing, we black people, like, there's so much black joy, black love, like everything, black beauty, but the trauma we cannot ignore. We just cannot. The trauma can be overwhelming. The trauma can consume us. So in all of that, I know you see your nephew, I know you see your husband, your brother, your everything, but just make sure you're evaluating you and how it's affecting you in the work that you do, in the way that you're so heavily involved. You don't have to be out on protesting with picket signs and all of that. You feel deeply. We are deeply affected when this happens. And that is a form of activism, right? The way you deeply connect and pray, but make sure it's not to your detriment.
And you said something, that trauma, because the secondhand trauma, even if it's not in your family, you still feel that. That was having a weight like on us when it's back to back to back to back. I'm glad that you said that affects your mental health. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation tonight. Oh my goodness. Now, do you have any final words of encouragement? Any final words you want to share with our audience tonight before we end our
Yes,
show?
I just want to say that being you, authentically you, is never going to be wrong. You will never, ever, ever lose if you truly believe that you win. There are people in your life, there are systems in your life, there's so much in your life that may be telling you whatever it is that you want to do, however you want to be, is not right. But listen, perceptions are not reality, perceptions are subjective. Everyone has their own perception of what right and wrong is. Just do you in the most you way possible. And know that healing is okay. It's okay to not always be okay and be healing. Find your people, talk to your people, tell your people when you're not okay. Go online, join different groups to find support. But like that strong black woman narrative, that cape that you're holding on to, you don't need a cape to fly, baby. You're the universe. You got wings. You got them. All you need, you possess. Everything you need, you possess. So just do you and know that you are the universe.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. When I tell you this was fun, I had so much fun and really just enjoyed the poetry Enjoy. You, Felicia, thank you for sharing this information. Like I said, I am going to go on there and order my copy because I love the cover itself drew my attention, but I can only imagine what's on the inside. Yes, what's on the inside. And so those of you who joined us live tonight, okay, you are in for a possible treat, okay? And this will be a free treat. Now, I not only do the open book, but I also have another stream, and that's called Mrs. Mabry's Unique Desserts. And I have a variety of bundt cakes, 7-Up pound cakes, lemon pound cake, strawberry lemon, and so forth, pineapple. And if you will go ahead and put your name in the chat, I am going to do a drawing, okay? Now, those of you who I'm not Facebook friends with, like Felicia's sisters, if I can't inbox you or something like that, or if y'all want me to let her know which one of you won, I can do that. Or put your phone number. No one will have access to that but me because they can't see that. And just do this. Just put your name for now. We'll just do that. And then I'm going to pull a name after the show. And then the winner will win a free bundt cake. Okay. You want one of these cakes. Okay. You can tell your friends to buy one also. Because, you know, in the summer, I come full force with the cakes. You know, I'm working. I fill orders, you know, throughout the school year. But when the school year is over, I pick up my pace with the cakes. So put your name in the chat. And I am going to write those names down. Let's see. Does anyone have any comments, questions that they would like to ask Felicia while we're doing this part? Okay, Nikki. All righty. I think I have everyone's name. Okay, fill this. Okay. All righty. So those of you who joined us tonight, thank you. Please join us again. I'll send out the information for our next show, which will be next month. We are Father's Day. Okay. This Men's Month next month. So we'll have a special Father's Day edition next month. So I'll send out more information about that. Today, I would like to thank poet Shug for blessing us with some poetry today. And then I also want to thank our special guest author, Phylicia French, tonight for being our special guest author and just really, really blessing us tonight. Like, I mean, you threw all kinds of nuggets at us. I'm going to go back and watch this on the TV. Yes, you can stream on YouTube because I will send out the link. You can stream this and actually watch it on television if you have access to do that. So those of you, thank you so much for watching the premiere. Those of you who came back and watched later, we thank you for having us, and we will see you next month. Bye-bye. Have a good day.